You ever just stop and wonder about life? Life, like as in, what is my purpose? What is my point? How did I get here? I mean, I can reminisce and ruminate, and I know how I got here. But what now? These are questions that plague us, Gen Xers, some of us anyway. And as for me, my life was it was full of turmoil. Not so much my childhood as later. And in all that turmoil, decisions were made. Decisions based on self-worth. Never going to do any better. Not going to get anything good enough. I'm not meant to have good things. Concept. And these things are ingrained in us at an early age. But also lies of the devil too that you can hear, and unwittingly listen to. See, I'm one of these people that always feels awkward in a group or crowd. This dog is going off in the wilderness over here. Somewhere back there. Anyway, it doesn't matter what group it is. It could be a group of sinners, because I've been with plenty of them. Group of regular people. Family groups. Even church groups. And I still feel like I'm on the outside looking in. And that's from that mentality that I grew up in. See, the mentality was that we were different, and it was a unspoken thing, and it had to do with things from long ago. And it wasn't because I was a bad person, not good enough, that was ugly, that I never measure up, that I wasn't as good as so-and-so or anybody else. Those were just things that I was told without being told directly, that I perceived. Because believe me, your kids perceive a lot from you, and I'm sure I've sent plenty of the wrong messages to mine. Dog, get out of there. You're not going any further. I am not crawling through the tunnel. I have before, but I'm not today. See, I used to come out here as a kid and play in these woods, which an earlier post has the beginnings of a book that is loosely based on adventures and a lot of made up stuff from this time frame, and these woods are involved in it, but in a totally imaginative way. But I digress. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I still feel that way. And people can be so nice and go out of their way for me, and I still feel like I don't deserve it, or it's awkward, or I'm even almost embarrassed to say thank you because I needed the help or accepted the gift. And there's times, especially this time of year, where even though we have sunlight today, great, yay, that it's even harder to deal with. It's like that seasonal affective disorder crap. Yeah. And now that I've got sun and been out for 2 days, I feel worse. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I've had time to reflect, during the last week or so when there hasn't been any sun, to think about where I'm at now. I'm in a place in my life where I don't want to be this old lady with nothing but knickknacks, pictures, dust, and God forbid more dogs or unmanageable dogs. I want a person to do stuff with, to even grow old with, to do things that I like to do. But the thing is, I can't have that. Not in any real way. Why? Because I won't settle. You see, I used to settle, and that's what got me into some situations, believing that that's all I could get and that's all it was worth. I won't settle anymore. The thing is, that means that there is probably no one to fill that position. Because as much as I love other Christians, and they love me, deep down, they would have a lot to say about my former self, my mistakes. They wouldn't want to know why or what led to them. They wouldn't want to know necessarily, or they would, and they'd want me to dredge up things that I choose to forget because they cause me such great pain. That happened before when I tried to get something annulled. They wanted to know so much of stuff that I buried that I just said, keep your money. I don't want to do this. So what do? You keep going to little groups, get-togethers of people, and you're the odd one out because you have no one. The dog is finally returning. You have no one except the dog. And yes, this dog loves me unconditionally and could care less about my past. As long as I feed him and keep him company, I guess. Well, there he goes. He's on a zoomie. And when he does that, I lose track of thought. So now my life is basically, it consists of parental care, dog care, and going to work and paying bills. And going to church. And I love going to church. I love church people. I love going to small group things. But I look at them all, I'm like, oh man, these people have never done anything bad in their life. Okay. I'm not saying that they haven't sinned, we all do. But the portrayal of, hey, it just reminds me, hey, I don't have this. What's going to happen to me in the end? I mean, yeah, I'll die and go to heaven, but for all I know, I'll live to be 75 and 85 years old. Or I'll die tomorrow. Who knows? But, however, what's my life looking like? I'm out here chasing a dog. Dang it. Hope he doesn't realize that. Step on the leash. I'm step on the leash. I'm just going to be the odd one out. Tainted goods can never have the equivalent of not settling for less. And people can say, well, that's the consequences of that choice, of that decision you made 25, 35 years ago. Really? But my Lord and Savior, that a lot of these people that would say that, preach about, talk about, over the years that I've heard, that I'll tell me that I am washed in the blood of the Lamb, and I'm clean, and, I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior, and I'm going to heaven. Well, if I'm good enough to get to heaven, then why am I not good enough to have, I don't know, a happy ending? Now, this sounds like I'm whining. Of course it does. I am whining. That's what seasonal affective disorder does. This is what it looks like. The things that bug you come forefront and taunt you, just like the devil on your shoulder. Oh well, y'all stay warm. Have a great rest of your weekend and enjoy the sun while you got it, because it ain't gonna be here long.